Have you ever felt like you're spending way more time managing your work than, actually doing it? Moving data from one app to another, copy pasting customer details into a spreadsheet like it's literally 1999, just trying to piece together completely fragmented systems? It's pure chaos. Well, welcome to this explainer on exactly how n8n workflows automate all of that chaos. Today, we're diving right into the foundational building blocks of automation, and we'll see exactly how you can use them to build systems that basically run themselves. It's all about reclaiming your time. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with Welcome to n8n Automation, move on to the core mechanics of workflows, check out some real-world automation examples, look at connecting advanced AI models, and finally, we'll wrap up with getting set up. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Welcome to n8n Automation, the baseline. So, according to the official documentation, n8n is a Faracode licensed workflow automation tool that fundamentally combines AI capabilities with business process automation. Now, I really want to highlight two things here. First up is that Faracode licensed part. Basically, this means it offers a highly accessible, open approach to software distribution. It gives you immense flexibility in how you deploy and use it, meaning you can run it on their managed cloud or just host it yourself. Second, and this is really the core focus of our explainer today, it uniquely merges standard, kind of rigid business logic with advanced dynamic artificial intelligence. We're not just talking about moving an email from an inbox to a database. You're actually using AI to read the email, determine if the customer is upset, pull out the relevant order number, and route the whole thing right to the urgent support queue. You're literally giving your data a brain along the way, completely transforming a manual triage process into a fully automated task. It's a real game changer. Moving right along to Section 2, Core Mechanics of Workflows, also known as the digital assembly line. To really master n8n, you need to deeply understand three key concepts from the docs. Think of this entire setup like a giant digital assembly line, where your raw data is the physical material moving down the conveyor belt. First, we've got expressions for data transformation. You know how data coming from one app almost never perfectly matches the format needed by the next app? Well, expressions let you map this data, usually using standard JavaScript syntax to grab a very specific JSON value or manipulate a string of text. So if an API spits out a full name, but your database only wants a first name, an expression splits that text automatically. Zero human intervention required. Second is flow logic. This acts as the automated switching station of our conveyor belt. It dictates the actual path your data takes using nodes like the if node or the switch node. For example, if an invoice is over $1,000, route it over here for manual manager approval. But if it's under 1,000, route it over there for immediate auto processing. And third, you really need to understand executions. An execution is just a single run of your workflow. But why does this matter? Because understanding executions is absolutely crucial for debugging when your workflow inevitably hits an error or some weird edge case. You can actually look back at past executions to see the exact payload of data at every single node. You can trace the exact moment a variable dropped out, ensuring your digital raw materials were processed exactly as you intended. That brings us to Section 3, Real-World Automation Examples, for a little bit of inspiration. Now, this is the question I always ask myself when I'm checking out a new tool. What exactly can you build with this? It's great to know about flow logic and expressions in theory, but how does this actually apply to your daily operations? How does it solve actual tangible problems on your calendar? Well, let's take a look. The n8n documentation actually provides some brilliant templates and inspirations for what to automate. And looking at the how really brings this whole thing to life. First, you can build workflows for creating an API endpoint. Basically, this means you can create a custom URL that external applications can hit to seamlessly trigger your internal automations. You're essentially building your own microservices without a massive dev team. Pretty cool, right? You can also build an AI agent chat system. Instead of just a rigid, clunky, rule-based chatbot, you hook an AI node directly into your company's internal knowledge base. This allows it to instantly answer complex support questions from your team right there on Slack. You can also scrape and summarize web pages with AI. Here's exactly how that works. You use an HTTP request node to scrape a competitor's site, feed that raw HTML payload into an AI node for summarization, and push the clean, bulleted text right to your inbox every single morning. It literally transforms hours of manual research into a completely hands-off automated daily report. Or you can use it for joining different datasets. Just imagine pulling isolated customer data from your CRM node, matching it precisely with payment history from your Stripe node, and merging the whole shebang into one clear, actionable dashboard. These aren't just fun little toys. They are complex problem solvers that do the heavy lifting for you.
All right, moving to section 4, connecting advanced AI models via MCP servers. Now, what's really interesting here is how integrating top-tier AI models into your workflows is handled. It's done directly through MCP, or Model Context Protocol servers. If you aren't super familiar with MCP, just think of it as a universal translator. It allows your AI models to securely understand and access your local files, tools, or databases without you having to write custom, messy integration code every single time. The docs actually give us exact connection methods for these servers. For Anthropic Claude Desktop, you can directly connect it right to the n8n MCP server configuration. If you're using the command line interface with Anthropic Claude Code, the command is beautifully simple. It's just claude mcp add, transport HTTP, n8n MCP, followed by your specific server URL. And for OpenAI Codex, it's just as straightforward. Codex MCP add n8n MCP, followed by the URL. This brilliantly illustrates how n8n acts as a central nervous system. You're easily tapping into the most advanced language models available today with just a single command line entry, extending the capability of your automated tasks way beyond simple data routing.
And finally, we arrive at section 5, getting set up and launching your automation. The documentation lays out a few primary paths to deployment, really catering to whatever technical level you're most comfortable with. Step 1, use a cloud provider. You can try it out for free on n8n Cloud and then pick a plan later. Honestly, this is by far the fastest way to get your hands dirty and start building workflows without managing a single piece of infrastructure. Step 2, install with npm. This is absolutely perfect if you're already working heavily in a Node.js environment and just want to run it directly via your terminal. Or Step 3, install with Docker. Docker is highly recommended if you plan on scaling this across a team, keeping everything self-hosted, super secure, and easily reproducible across different servers. The immense flexibility here means you aren't locked into just one way of working. You can start testing in the cloud today and seamlessly move to a self-hosted Docker container as your automation needs grow. So the crucial point I want to make is this. Reading the docs and listening to this explainer is really just the beginning. The ultimate goal, which is highlighted right in the core of their setup guide, is to actually take action and build your first workflow. Just start small. Connect a simple web form to a Google Sheet, run an execution. Watch that data move without you lifting a finger, and you'll see the magic of true task automation happen for yourself. We've covered the fair code baseline, the digital assembly line of expressions and flow logic, some amazing real-world AI applications, and exactly how to deploy. Now that you know the building blocks, what will you automate first? Think about the most mind-numbing, repetitive copy-paste task that you absolutely dread every single Monday morning. If you could hand that off to a digital assembly line today, what would you build with all that free time? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy building.